My honeybees died. Big surprise. I'm not talking about my honeybees. I'm talking about all the people who put videos on YouTube about their honeybees dying. And then you got people like Vinyl Farm. And nearly got wiped out last winter. Apparently he didn't learn anything about beekeeping because his latest video is about super insulating a hive. Insulating a hive is not going to save your bees from dying. I use acetic acid. I did it several times in September and I did it again in December. So I'm pretty sure I got rid of the varroa mites, but my bees are still dying. See that pile there? I just cleaned them out today. At the rate they're dying, if it doesn't warm up soon, if you don't get the colony restarted to grow again, they're going to die out on you. This is why your bees die. 3 reasons. Could be the varroa mites, but like I said, if you work hard, you get rid of the varroa mites. The toxic chemicals the farmers use, and it's all over in the environment. You can't get rid of it. It's in your hive. It's in the wax. It's in the pollen. It's in the honey. That's why your bees are dying. The colony gets small, and then the cold temperatures will kill them during the night when it's really, really cold. It's February 4th. It was supposed to be below 0 tonight, but we had 2 degrees this morning. And I checked these colonies this morning, and they were fine. Yesterday I went through, and I checked them. I checked the size of the cluster. You know, I take out a fuse here and I put LED in there. I can see the cluster, see where it is. I can take off the hive cover. See, there's bees there, so I don't mess with them anymore. And then I could take a hive tool, pry this open, take an LED flashlight, look in there, see how big the cluster is. Anyway, I determined 2 of them yesterday were too small to be outside for the temperatures because I know as winter progresses, see, my bees are dying. The colonies are getting smaller. Late winter, if you get small, your colonies get small, and the cold temperatures will kill your colonies late winter. So what I do with colonies that are too small to be outside during the cold temperatures, I bring them in my bee room here. And I have 2 windows here, and I had small colonies I placed in the windows early September. And what happened is I created 120 new colonies last year, and I had like 50-some colonies from previous years, so I had a lot of small colonies that couldn't winter outside. I started bringing them inside when the colony got small, and I was worried about them getting chilled and dying. I ended up with a lot of colonies in here, and it warmed up too much in December, and they ate a lot of the honey. So I had to, a couple weeks ago, mid-January, I pulled out my window colonies, and I placed them down in my basement. I have 152 colonies and only 15 outside, so that gives me, 137 colonies inside? And during the day, I open up the door because they see light, they want to get active. See, I have ventilation here. They can see the light, they know it's daytime. And at night, I close it up and I leave just a little gap, and I will put my bucket of sugar against that to make sure it doesn't blow open in the middle of the night, to keep it closed up enough. I have floor heat. I don't have glycol. I have hot water, so I have to have the heat going or else the floor freezes up. And on that door there, I have a screen. I can open and close the screen for depending on how much heat I want to go out. So anyway, I noticed a small colony here. Last week I went through and I picked up all of them and I checked to make sure they're still alive. This one here was very light. They don't have much honey. So I bought some local honey a few weeks ago, 2-quart jar. I've used it before. I ran out of honey on frames. This honey doesn't kill my bees, so I'll show you. Okay, this is a colony here that the bottom screen somehow got torn last year, and I didn't notice it. And they were losing bees after I brought them inside. And they also ran out of honey. That's why the bees were leaving the hive as much as they were. But I managed to find them just as they ran out of honey, and they were still alive. They were chilled a little bit. So what I do is I buy the 2-quart jars of honey, and I fill up this little honey bottle here. Well, I'll show you. I fill that up, and every morning I come down here, and the one up in the bee room there, and I put a little just like that. I put maybe a teaspoon of honey on them every morning, and that'll keep them alive until I can get some honey out of some frames of honey out of some of my larger colonies. So this one right here was dead, and I brought them inside and they warmed up and they revived themselves. But here's one stack. This was one stack in the window, and I brought in some smaller colonies also that weren't in the window. And then here is another stack that was in the other window, and then also some other colonies. It's approximately 54 here. They're keeping it warm enough. I turned off the zone down here, and they're keeping it 54 degrees, which is as cold as it's going to get. It's better than having them getting too warm. And here's another colony here that ran out of honey, and I didn't realize it at the time, and I placed them outside overnight, and the next day they were chilled when I checked them, and I brought them inside and put a hair dryer on them and got them revived. And again, this is a colony that I give them a couple teaspoons of honey every morning because it's a larger colony, and they have been taking the pollen substitute. I gave them pollen substitute a week ago because it's important to get these colonies restarted. A couple people on YouTube said that we were going to have warmer temperatures in February, so you know, they could be right, they could be wrong. But anyway, if I don't get them restarted and the colonies get small, they're gonna die out on me. Okay, so wrapping a hive during the winter is not going to save your colony. The only way to save a colony is to bring them inside if they get too small. That's the only way. I've been doing this for 9 years. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. You got to be careful who you watch on YouTube. There's a lot of people that think they know what they're doing that don't, okay?